Hello everybody and welcome to the Human Echoes review for Neverknock. Well, I've been waiting for this. I've been reviewing all of these Syfy channel original movies for the month of Halloween in 2017 and expecting the bad one, alright? I was expecting all of them to be bad, honestly. But Truth or Dare surprised me. Sandman surprised me. You can go watch both the reviews for those movies. This movie though, this was the bad movie that I was expecting all of these movies to be. Starting off with, it's a group of 20-somethings, you guys. Or possibly high schoolers. It's impossible to tell. The actors playing them are definitely 20-somethings, but they do talk about having classes together, and it's not clear if it's high school or college. It's that horror trope, right? And they have, like, a legend where if you knock on this door, and by the way, it also has to be blood involved, and that's what explains how people have been knocking on this door for forever and not gotten sucked in by it. But if you knock on this door and you have a bloody hand, or there is some blood on the door from you when you knock on the door and say, never, never knock, you get sucked in, or not sucked in. You release a monster that'll hunt you down and kill you. And so, of course, our heroes do this. The most interesting thing, I will give props to this movie, the most interesting thing about the film is how it acknowledges the lore of how a thing like this would work, right? Because there's a prologue where a kid knocks on the door and gets sucked in, and then they have, like, the policeman go into the house, and there's a body that's thrown, and it has never, never knock written onto the body. And so through the years after that, of course, all the kids in the neighborhood dare each other to go knock on the door. And so you see this progression through time of the various Halloweens through the years of people knocking on the door saying, never, never knock. You have a radio station with like a promotion where they're having people go and film themselves knocking on the never knock door. And then you finally get to present day, and our heroes come to the never knock and knock on the door. They don't want to go. There's like a whole bit of padding at the beginning where they go into a haunted house, and it's like, it's not scary, and it doesn't do anything for the characters. Like, it establishes that one dude is cheating on his girlfriend with another girl, and that has no bearing on the plot at any point in the movie. It's just there because they needed to have an hour-and-a-half long movie. And so they knock on the door, the never knock comes after them. I will give some props to this monster. It's not as cool as the Sandman monster, but again, they've got like an actual dude in a suit, and this guy's kind of like a creepy contortionist on top of that. So the visual of the monster coming after the people is interesting. What is not as interesting is how they implement this. It's essentially an hour of people running and screaming. And the monster's thing is that it knows what scares you and it can pull from your fears, which has been done to death in horror, okay? And that's not an instant death knell, but the big problem here is that the things that these guys are scared of are, for the most part, not very interesting visual things. The one guy's afraid of blood, right? Maybe the viewers who are watching this who are afraid of blood might have been creeped out by the person coming after him with blood all over her face, but really that's not like that creepy. The idea that they're all seeing things the whole time, also, like, none of these things are real, except when the monster's real and then like he teleports and stuff, but generally his power is just to make them see visions, and once you understand that they're just seeing visions, it just becomes like over and over and over, these people seeing things that aren't there and being afraid of them. And you're, as an audience member, you're like, I'm like, anyway, come on, it's not real. Like, you know it's not real. We've established half an hour ago that it's not real, and you're still screaming about it. There's so much screaming in this movie. So much screaming. It goes on and on forever, and it never goes anywhere. The end of the climax of the movie, I won't spoil it, I guess, but it's not like something that's really rooted in the story. They just say a thing, they don't explain why the thing is, and that allows them to defeat the monster. I didn't like this one. It was a bad try. Try again, guys. So to recap the problems here, monster with powers that we've seen done way better a bunch of times, characters that are not characters, they're just people to run around and get killed, way too much just running around and screaming, and ultimately a plot that goes nowhere for like an hour. Not a fan of this one. Go watch Sandman, go watch Truth or Dare. Those are at least interesting. This one is not. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. If you disagreed, and I'm sure there are some of you who did, because there always is someone who disagreed. If you like this movie, let me know what you thought, and if you didn't like it, you can let me know what you thought too. Comments are always welcome and read and usually replied to, and I'll see you guys next time with something else. Take care, y'all.